Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today we're doing Indigo. This was the video that I almost did not record because I felt like whenever I looked up people doing rainbow series, they always went straight from blue to purple, which is violet in the rainbow. I'm skipping over Indigo because Indigo, like translated on the internet, is a deep blue with like purple undertones to it or some purple intensity type to it. So when I went through my palettes, I felt like a lot of the blues are either blue or purple. There was no gray with them. I did try and stick to the more indigo type shades, but it's hard to differentiate them like on camera, I felt like, because when I did this look, which I feel like looks like a lot like my blue look, so if you wanted to just skip indigo and pretend like this is my blue look part 2, then that works too. But I felt like I tried to stick to as many indigo shades as possible and they still looked really blue, especially once I popped on the blue here. I felt like that kind of just took it there, but I didn't want to make it yet too purple quite yet, and that's why I did tie in some purple to it. But yeah, welcome to my channel. I'm RLQ.Rosie. If you are new here, I am down to the last 2 videos of my rainbow series, Monochromatic looks. So I wanted to use one specific color from the rainbow and do a look. So just take all my palettes, take all the indigo shades from all the palettes that I like, that I gravitate towards, the best ones that I could find. And for this particular look, I did actually look through so many palettes to see if I can find any that were strictly indigo versus the more blue colors. But of course this is what I found, and a lot of the palettes were the ones I had already used for blue already, and I probably will use for purple as well. And I know you guys have seen a lot of repetitive palettes thus far, but that's because like I mentioned in some of my previous videos, a lot of these brands are really good at making colorful palettes, but certain brands are good at making like pops of color in their palettes all over. I don't know if that makes any sense, but I'm gonna go ahead and just get to doing this look and we'll see at the end. Okay, so the thing about indigo is a lot of the shades are very similar to, like, they're right in between blue and violet. Like indigo is more of, I would say, a navy with like purple to it, if that makes any sense. So we're gonna start off with the blood sugar, of course. I think we're gonna go basic with this look just because I've gone a little bit extra with the rest of them and I want to do a little bit something a little bit more over the top with purple or violet, if you will. So we're dipping into Undertaker. For me, this is indigo because it's definitely more of the, like, the deeper navy side of purple, excuse me, of indigo. Like, I was pulling up the shades and I had them side by side so that I can kind of reference them and see if I did. And then I put up the poll and you guys said, nope, I want to see you do a video with indigo. So here we go. Kind of like I mentioned on Instagram, a lot of the palettes are going to be super similar to the ones I've done before. So this is, of course, the exotic Peacock one. We're going to dip into the Dreamer shade from this palette, which is this shade right here. And we're going to blend that into this one. My copy has arrived. Thank you so much. And then I'm going to blend that out with a clean brush. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and carve that out just kind of all the way to there, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm going to go back into Undertaker. This is kind of a more of a shader brush, or what do you call this? A brow brush, actually. And I'm going to use this to kind of start a wing down here. And then we're going to build onto this. Like I said, we're keeping this look a little bit more simple. A little bit more easier to do. Just because I want it to be a nice transition into violet from blue, since I feel like these shades are all super the same. I was going through a lot of rainbow looks or series, and I noticed that a lot of people skip indigo, and that's kind of why I asked you guys, like, do you guys want to see it? Because I was genuinely shocked at how many people didn't do indigo. I was like, wait a second, where's their indigo? And people just don't like indigo. They indigo shame. So let's get into a new palette. I want to say I used this in my last video, but we're going to go into Royal. I feel as if this is a really good shade, like a good indication of what indigo is for the, like, in the rainbow, because it's like the perfect blue. And I'm going to pull out a random palette. This is the Kristen, Leanne, Urban Decay palette collab. I think it's from last year, maybe a year and a half ago. And I'm going to go into the shade here, which is TRM. I don't know what that stood for. Even though I watched a review or like release video, it didn't stick with me. So I actually just watched her recent video though, and she used her highlighter. And I don't think I ever purchased her highlighter. I might have. I know I have the smaller palette and I have like this palette, but I don't think I bought the highlighter part of it. I need to go back into the darker shade Undertaker just to kind of intensify this part of it again. And I think I fudged up a little bit. There's a little bit too much blue right there. Okay, so even though indigo isn't on the blue side, like it's more, like I said, the purple blue transition shade, I'm gonna go into the Diamond Dew here in the shade Tearful. I think I might have used this in my last video as well. I don't 100% remember. Like, I feel like that video was so long ago because I took a break because my skin right here started really acting up. And you know, I worked so hard on fixing my skin that I definitely didn't want to aggravate it or give it any negative attention. So we are just filling that space. I think I used too big of a brush, but I want to leave it white because I do have some looks with a lot of white negative space in them. And then we'll go back into the Kristen Leanne palette and blend that. All right. Okay. I do like this look. This look is a perfect indigo look. I'm going to throw in like a little bit of purple, I think, right here. I don't know, guys. See, because when, like I said, when I Googled indigo, I had a couple different shades of indigo, and a lot of them were more of a royal / navy blue, and that's kind of what I want this look to look like. But I know to some people, indigo is more on the purple side, so I'm kind of, we'll do purple on the bottom just to kind of appease to everybody, okay? So I'll be right back. Okay, I definitely feel like this is leaning towards the more blue side. It's very similar to my blue look, so I'm kind of about it, but it's okay because, like I said, I feel like I wanted to take it easy on this look since this was kind of the extra look that I wasn't actually going to do. We're going to go into the shade here, which is Truth. This is definitely more on the purple side, and I'm going to smoke out the bottom lash line, and I think what I'm going to do is add this to one of my creases up above because I feel like it'll make it more indigo because this has definitely got a lot more blue to it than I wanted it to. So while I am blending this under my eye or smoking out my bottom lash line, I'm going to start blending this up. And then there's like a little crease right here between the shade from the Pinky Rose palette and the Jeffree Star palette. So we're going to start blending that in right there. And then what we'll do is we'll go over it, see how now there's a harsher like transition. You can't even tell that it's purple, but this is definitely a purple shade. We'll do this first, and then we'll go back into the blue shade Dreamer, which is funny because in the palette it's definitely purple, but or not purple, but purple-ish, a lot on the indigo side, but for some reason it's showing up a lot more blue on my face, and that's why this look is coming out a little more blue than I expected it to. So this is kind of bringing out a lot more purple in the blues, which is what I like and what I want. While I uploaded footage to my computer, I was actually double checking the shade Indigo, and definitely Indigo Images, kind of, it's a cross between, like I said, the blue and the purple, which is where like this-ish right here, this-ish is kind of what I wanted to go towards, but I feel like there's a lot more blue. So I'm going to go ahead and finish the other eye off camera, and then I will be right back. I do want to lay down blue balls. Yeah, blue balls down as a base highlighter on the cheek, and then I want to go over it with a different one. So I kind of wanted to like make it a little bit more intense, a little bit more dimension on the cheeks. I can't get over how pretty this highlighter is. This is one that's definitely underrated and a lot more wearable than people think. Depends on how much like you put. But unfortunately, I like to put a lot. And then I'm going to go into the Anastasia Moonchild highlighting kit. And we're going to go into Purple Horseshoe. This one here. We're going to go over that. I know this is probably a highlighter I should be using for the violet look, but I wanted to add a little bit more purple to this look since it was looking a little bit on the blue side. I'm going to go down here since we're not using a blush. I used a blush in my blue look. If you haven't seen that video, please check it out. And blend that in. Okay, so I went ahead and put some also on my brow, and I'm kind of blending this out so it kind of ties together with what I have here. So it looks a little bit more flush and like it's more of a look. I love this highlighter. I feel like it's kind of muting down the blue a lot more. Next, we're going to go into lips, and for lips, we're going to go into, of course, the Jeffree Star Blue Blooded collection. And the only reason why I'm going into this one is because I want to go into Abused. I know people kind of have a love-hate with that name. I love the shade. Absolutely love the shade, but most people hate the name. So I'm going to take it as it is. This shade is the perfect shade for indigo because it is a deep blue with purple base in it, and I just am obsessed with this. See, this is the shade that I wanted most of the look to look like, but I think that little blue right there kind of threw it off a little bit. I think I just said girl twice. And last but not least, we're going to go into lashes. I have the Girl Boss lashes from Tarte Cosmetics. See if you can see those in this lighting, but I'm going to pop those on, and yeah, we'll be right back. And we're back. So this is the final look. I just want to say real quick that I did pop in some of that purple, whatever you call it, purple face, purple heart. It's there. And then I did put a little bit of what I had left of blue balls on my lipsticks to make it a little bit more indigo. If you know what I'm saying. I know this look is very, very reminiscent of my blue look. I feel like when I did my blue, I did try and stick towards blues, like actual blues, whereas this one I tried to stick towards the navy, more indigo type shades, because as I mentioned in the beginning of this video, it was kind of hard to set aside indigo from violets and blues, which is why I put up the poll. So I hope you guys don't watch this video and think, wow, Rosie, this look is very similar to your blue look and it's not really indigo, because keep in mind that a lot of these palettes have mostly blue or mostly purple shades, because brands and even influencers, because like I mentioned, when you look at a lot of rainbow series or rainbow looks, a lot of people will not do the indigo shade. So indigo on the internet is, they call it, let me read the definition, because I tried to paraphrase it in the beginning. It says, indigo is a deep and rich color close to the color wheel. A primary color. Okay, sorry, wrong one. So what is the true color of indigo? Indigo is a rich color between blue and violet on the visible spectrum. It is a dark purplish blue. It says dark denim is indigo as an indigo dye. So that's kind of what I went towards. And then when I pulled up the images, like I think I pulled up during my getting ready with portion, this is kind of my inspo right here, like this more navy with just a slight purple undertone to it, because if I went up here, I felt like it would take away from my purple look next video, and I still feel like when I do my next video, I'm going to have to gravitate towards the more bright purples, which is fine. You'll see. Like, I already know what I'm going to do in my next video, but I just want you guys to kind of get a little heads up. That's why I didn't do too much purple in this look, and that's why I didn't want to go towards too many purple-ish shades. I stuck more towards the navy, deep blue shades. I feel like I should said shades a lot, but I hope you guys get where I'm coming from. You know, it is very similar to my last look, but I like this look a little bit more. So if you hated my last look, then here's part 2. This is Indigo. Second to last video. I have one more video. I have my purple coming up, and let's get to swatching. We're gonna start with Exotic Peacock. So Exotic Peacock had this Dreams shade, which I feel like was very much a royal blue with purple undertones. So it looks a lot more blue on the skin than it did on the eye, but I wanted to play with that one. I feel like I also used this in my blue look. I don't even remember because it's been days, but that's the one I did kind of right here. I had a little bit more trouble on this eye as I did on this eye, but that's normal. Like, it's not even surprising at this point. And then from the Morphe 25 M palette or L palette, I went into, what shade was it? Truth, which in my opinion is more of a purple shade, more of a violet shade. And then I kind of did go into this one here, which is Gilbert. I didn't watch the video on this palette, so I don't know for sure why it's called Gilbert. But see, these are kind of like on the purple sides in my opinion. That's what those two look like. And I wanted to use this shade here mostly to tie in a lot more purple, but the blue did absorb it a little bit, so you kind of can't tell that I did use it. But I did use it right here before I went to the blue. That looks a little funky. Bueno, good. And then I use this Gilbert shade a little bit along the waterline because I felt like the other shade wasn't doing as well on the bottom lash line, and I didn't want to pull out a blue eyeliner and I didn't want to pull out a purple eyeliner, so I went with that shade because I feel like that's also a really good representation of what I would consider indigo if it had a little bit more blue to it. I'm telling you, it's hard to find specific indigo shades. And then I went into the Kristen Leanne palette. I went into the shade Trim. This is more of a royal blue, and it doesn't really have any purple undertones to it, but it's still really pretty, and I felt like it did well in its place with the look. So, do you see how, I guess if you would mix these all together, then they would make a really pretty indigo color, but by themselves they're not necessarily indigo. The closest I feel like indigo on the shades I used is probably Jeffree Star's Undertaker, because that's a navy blue with like a slight purple undertone to it. And I knew immediately when I did this look that I was going to use that shade first because I knew that that shade would kind of just tie it all together. And then the Violet Voss shade I used, which I'm pretty sure I used also in my blue video, was Royal Blue. Again, it's more blue than it is indigo, but still it was a little bit more on the deeper side for blues that I had, which is why I used it. Very similar to this one, but a little bit lighter in my opinion. So let me go into the last shade, which of course was Undertaker. So when I think of dark denim, I definitely do think of that shade. And that's why immediately I was drawn to this shade for this particular look. I don't think I used it in my blue look. I'm telling you, my blue look feels like it was so long ago, even though it was like 4 days ago. But that's what it looks like. See, for me, it has the most purple to it, along with like the navy part of it. So this right here is a perfect representation of blue for me, or excuse me, indigo for me. Like if I were to put this one next to it, that is definitely what I would say would work. But all in all, this color scheme reminds me of this color scheme, and this here is indigo color palette, so that's kind of where I loosely based it off of, along with like a combination of all of these. So I mean, I definitely did my research for this particular shade because this felt like would be the most troublesome for me, but I'm happy with the look. Like I said, if you guys don't want to consider it an indigo look, then consider it blue 0.2 because it's very similar to the blue look, so it's like trial and error. I really love it, but I just wiped these off already before I showed you guys up close. It's been a few days since I've recorded. My hair's falling flat. I don't like it, but this is the final look. I hope you like it. I hope you like this video. I hope you've enjoyed the series thus far. I'm stoked. I'm actually excited for it to end because now that I've had all these like monochromatic looks, I'm way more inspired to play with a lot more color into one look. So I'm really excited for that. I have a lot more video ideas once the series is over. But I'm so thankful you guys have been showing so much love, especially the yellow look. I don't know how you guys did that, but you guys did it. You guys showed me so much love. And that's it. If you're new to my channel, I'm RLQ.Rosie on Instagram, which is where most of you guys know me from. Follow me there. Follow me on Twitter. Follow me on Facebook. Follow me everywhere. All my links are down below, like towards the bottom. Don't forget to subscribe. Turn on my notifications so you know when my next video is. Give this video a thumbs up, and if you didn't like it, then just walk away, pretend it did not happen. But I will be back. I have Violet to go through, to do, and then, yeah. That's it. We have a lot more videos planned, so please come back. I love you all so much, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.